So you've been doing this now. Now that we're going on 2 years, and now there's a brand new show, The Golden Bachelor, that you guys just filmed. And it's now about to air. How was that? Was it what you expected? Like, let's give it a little bit of a breakdown.
It's funny. I didn't really know what to expect.
Yeah.
I had a lot of questions, and like execution questions, like not even big picture things, but more like, hey, like on the first night, which is the longest night in TV, that first rose ceremony, we've all been there, starts at 7, ends at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Like with a 72-year-old guy, like, are we going to take naps? Are we going to is this thing going to be over by like midnight?
Yeah.
How amazing would that be? Are there going to be fantasy suites? Like, is there going to be intimacy? Is that like going to happen? Like, do I have to have that talk with them? Like, are Gerry and I going to break it down? How awkward is that going to be? It's like talking to your dad when you're a kid, like about the birds and the bees. It's like all the things that
I already see the Viagra ad, right? I already see the Viagra ad right now.
It's like slow hanging fruit. It's right there.
Yeah.
And so it was, but I got to say, I think we were all kind of learning as we were going throughout filming. The most important part and the magic behind all of it, I know we all know this, is it's the people. And Gerry's a rock star. Gerry's amazing. He's such a sweet guy. He's had this incredible life. He's lived so much. He's got so much knowledge. He's so emotionally intelligent. He's so good with his words. He's the best I've ever seen since I've been hosting, at walking in the room before a rose ceremony and addressing the ladies. Just the things he says, it's eloquent. It just hits the nail on the head. He was just so ready for this. He's experienced unbelievable tragedy and loss in his life, and he's ready for this opportunity to find his person. The women were amazing. The women are amazing. And you're going to see that night one. I knew right away, as soon as these women got out of the limo, I was like, this is a home run. These women are awesome. Every other show, every Bachelor show I've hosted, or Bachelorette, I watch people get out of the limo night one. They get to the mansion. They're freaking out. Rightfully so. There's cameras everywhere. You know, you've never been in that environment. You forget what you're going to say when you walk up to the person. You forget your name. You do that. You might have to do it again, take another take, all this stuff. Every single one of these women came out of the limo, guys, and they crushed it. So confident. Like, they were rolling up. They had their spiel. They had their shtick. They said what they wanted to say. They were flirty. They were whatever they were doing. It was like one after another, after another, after another. And I was just standing there thinking, this is incredible. Like, it was wild just to kind of see that different dynamic in front of the mansion in a familiar setting that we've seen over and over and over again. But I think the cast is what's really going to make this season so special and unique, because everybody was amazing.
Was there ever a moment during the season where you kind of just like looked on to the group of women and thought, like, this is so similar, but what the fuck is happening? Like, this is so, like, you know.
Yes, it was the first date card drop off. So it's the morning after the very first rose ceremony. You're going in, and it was like that giant couch full of your grandmas that talk a lot.
Yeah.
And it's like your Italian nonna who's just sitting there, and she's like telling you all this stuff. And she's like, first off, walking in the house, the kitchen smelled amazing. It was the best the kitchen's ever smelled. You have legendary, like, these women were cooking up a feast. They were all in there, and it was like Sunday sauce, and they're doing all their, like, and they're all helping each other and plating. It was like, you go in on the Bachelorette first night, all the dudes are in there like hungover, and it smells like burnt eggs and like mimosas. It's brutal. It smelled way better, but then getting there and seeing them all, and you like ask them one question, and you're just going to get an answer from this woman, and then like 17 of them get a turn, and they're taking it off, and they're asking me questions. And where did you grow up? Yeah, you look like you have a nice mom. I bet you have a nice.
Yeah,
mom.
I was going to say, are you getting any? Oh, Jesse, you're such a cute boy. Like any of that?
Yeah, squeezing the cheeks and like little. You're such a good kid. Like, you got a very nice voice. That boy Jesse, he's got a nice voice. You're walking out. You're like, whoa.
You're like, what just happened?
It was a completely different vibe to it. It's just very loving and nurturing women who have kids. A lot of them have grandkids.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just who they are. And they're just very loving people. And so it was really nice to be in that kind of environment.
I'm so excited to get to meet some of them. I really am.
But we got to see some drama, right? I mean, some of them, even though they're probably wonderful, just great women, some of them got to be ready to roll. I
agree. But yeah, so like that was one of the things I was wondering too, Joe. I was like, okay, well, surely like a 70-year-old woman's not going to fall for the same stuff that a 22-year-old does on the show. Like they've got more emotional stamina to deal with this. And sure enough, after a few days,
it all falls down.
It all falls apart.
Put a bunch of women in a bunch of bunk beds in the house, and all of a sudden, it just, some stuff happens, and some of it gets brought to Gerry's attention, and he's kind of like, do I have to moderate this? Like, how are we handling all this? And he did a phenomenal job. But there'll be some themes that I think people at home will be very, very, very familiar with when they're watching.
I'm going to say I'm excited to see like the parallels between like it's the same format, it's the same show, like it's The Bachelor, just with a different generation of cast.
Yeah.
So like the things that are like you said, like coming in for the first date card and they're all sitting on the couch and like seeing those similarities, but then also how it unfolds differently because of the differences in the cast. Is there anything that you learned from doing the Golden Bachelor that maybe you're going to take in to your time on The Bachelor and The Bachelorette moving forward?
Question.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Like, it's always one of those things. I feel like you get done shooting it, and then you kind of think back on it a little bit. The show will come out on there. You'll sort of watch yourself back and see all the things that happened. I don't know. I don't know for me personally if there would be like a stylistic change in anything that I do moving forward. I think more than anything, I'm just going to really appreciate sort of the moments that I had and the advice I got. Normally I'm the one giving people some advice, what I think you should do in a situation, or if I ever have a little remedy from something that happened in a past relationship for me. I had nothing I could tell Gerry or any of these women on love, on intimacy, on anything like that.
I'm telling you, Jesse, re-say that line, Jesse. You could do so much better.
Really feel it this time. Please say your goodbyes.
Always see Jesse constantly breaking down at ITMs. Like, I had so much confidence going into the season.
It's so true. It's like they were giving me advice, and Gerry had me on the edge of my seat talking about love and relationships. And, I want to have the love with Emily that Gerry had with Tony for decades. He found that, he had that, and he would tell me, like, I'd ask him while we were on camera too sometimes, just, hey man, like what do I have to do to find that? Literally had me on the edge of my seat. And so I think more than anything, just be appreciative of some of the wisdom that was imparted from everybody, from the men and the women. They told me very early, I don't know if it'll be on camera, but like on that first day, the date card drop off, they were like, we can teach you a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
Like we know you just got married. Like you should be asking me questions. And I'm like, you're right. Yeah, I probably should.